Alright guys, welcome back. So yesterday we got about this far. We made 2 of our buildings taller. And I asked that you do 1 more building tall, so we're going to keep going with that. I have a star marked here. So we're going to go in. We're going to go straight up, both sides. Remember, we're going to take the line furthest from the vanishing point. We're going to connect it to the vanishing point. And that'll give us our face of our building. As a reminder, of course, we don't do anything unless we're using a ruler. So we're going to erase the top of the building. Obviously, we don't need that anymore. So we've got the new top of the building. And just like we did over here, we've got to get the sides and the back of our building. Now, again, going off this line, because we're trying to do the side and the back, remember we go to the opposite vanishing point. So we'll connect those two to the opposite vanishing point. Now I'm just going to keep going until I find the back that I want. Then, of course, that will go straight down, like you see there. Awesome. So now we've got at least 3 heights. Now you can do this to as many buildings as you want to get the kind of city that you want to go. For now, just for the sake of the video, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do the bare minimum. Now you are required to at least do the bare minimum. Bare minimum being correcting the heights of 3 different buildings. Okay, so we're going to skip on down to the sidewalks here, and we're going to do something that I forgot to do yesterday. I'm going to put a tiny dot right below the sidewalk, and I'm going to connect those to the vanishing point. This will give us the depth of our sidewalk. Just the depths of our sidewalk. Here we go. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to take our ruler and go down and do straight lines down. Alright, so like I was saying, we're just going to go through with our rulers, and we're going to put the depth in for our sidewalks, as you guys can see. So it kind of creates this nice little 3-dimensional balance that we want to do. We want to make sure our ruler stays nice and straight while we do that. Got a little nick in my ruler right here because you guys keep banging it on the tables. That's why we don't bang it on tables. It becomes very problematic. Okay, so here we are. Got a nice little cityscape getting started. The next thing we want to do is we want to address this first center building. A lot of times people make it taller. Sometimes they don't. I've seen quite a few people just get rid of it and kind of create like a little park right there. There's tons of different ways that you can do that. What we are going to do though is we are going to decide this and this section right here are all one building. So we need to decide if we are going to have 2 doors, 1 on each access, 1 door, and we're going to decide exactly what we want to do. I am going to turn this into an art gallery because, you know, I'm an art teacher. That's what I like to do. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to decide that this is going to be the front of my building, and this is going to be the side of my building. So what I want to do first is I want to create doors. And when we're creating doors, we need to understand that when we do doors for cities, is they have to be double doors. They can't be single doors. The last thing we want to do is have a little door like that on a building, right? Or at least on the front entrance of a building. So we need at least double doors, which means that we'll have handles here in the center, and we'll have the double pane here of the metal. So you kind of got to think about the school doors. There's millions of different ways that you can do it. You can have the little bar in the center if you want to. You can have different handles. You can get really crazy with it and do a little rotating door or something like that. But we do need double doors. We need to make sure it's big enough to where we can have a group of people coming in. So what I like to do, I kind of like to cheat the system a little bit. That horizon line, I'm going to make the tops of my doors. Normally that's not really the case. Horizon line typically focuses on eye level. Now if we made all doors the height of your eye level, obviously we'd be hitting our heads right going in. But we're going to cheat the system just a little bit, just for the sake of our sanity. And we're going to go in and we're going to create, using that horizon line, our double doors. I'll make sure I double each line. I'm going to use that horizon line to get the top of my door. Slide it down a little bit. See, we got a nice little double door right there. What I'm going to do, just on that side of the building, I'm going to go ahead and erase the rest of my horizon line because I don't need any more horizon line in that one particular section while I'm doing that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and declare that my double doors are glass. So what I'm going to do to represent glass is I'm going to put 3 streaks in each glass pane. And that's like a quick little representation of glass. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to realize that if that is glass, I'm going to see the floor of the inside of the building. So I'm going to take this corner, which will be the corner of my building, and I'm going to connect it to the opposite vanishing point. And just inside that door, I'm going to draw a line. So there you are, you can see the floor. And it connects to that vanishing point. Go ahead and get rid of that little circle right there. Here you go. So the next thing I want you to do is we got to think about windows. Windows and doors are a lot alike. So because this is an art gallery, and very clearly this would be 2 stories. So if this is 1 story, and this would be your nice little guy, that horizon line would be 1 floor. So all of these buildings are at least 2 floors, some of them 3, 4, depending on how far you get. And remember, the higher the building is, the closer to the vanishing point, the lower your first floor is. So you got to kind of deal with that. This would be quite a big building we got going on right here. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I've got 2 floors here. So I'm going to do a huge window here on the 2nd floor. To display my artwork. I'm going to do the top of my window, make it as big as I can. I would imagine this would be a floor-to-ceiling window. I don't know if anybody's ever been to the High Museum, but they love to do this at the High Museum. Get my sides, and again it's a window, so it will be doubled. Alright, and I'm only going to double the top and the side closest to my vanishing point, because that means we're looking in at this angle. So we would see the side, the thickness of the window, but we wouldn't technically see it on this side. So we'd only see it on one side. So again, here I am, I'm playing around with it. This is a huge window. I'm going to see not the floor, but I'm going to see the ceiling. So I'm going to go from the corner of my building to the opposite vanishing point, and inside that window, I'm going to draw where my ceiling would be. Do you see how you can kind of look in there now? Isn't that neat? So now we've got this 3-dimensional building popping up here. I'm going to go in, have a little fun. I'll go ahead and throw in a really fancy, funky, artsy chandelier. Get a little light going on in there. Just dangling. Now, this is an art gallery, so in my opinion, I'm going to go in and I'm going to throw on this big, huge painting on the wall. I'm going to go to the opposite vanishing point because it is on that wall. Alright. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Go to the opposite vanishing point again. So there we go. And I'm going to double it because I need a picture frame. Oh, that's too much. So sometimes even I make mistakes. Alright, and then, because I don't hate myself, I'm not going to go super into detail here, but I'm going to do this fun non-rep painting that could go on the wall. See, isn't that fun? So I got this whole art gallery. I'm creating my scene, and I'm going to go through again with my eraser, because we definitely use our eraser on just about everything that we do here. I'm going to clean up everything I need. Now, I don't need the horizon line on this side of the building, because that's all I'm going to do. I don't want any doors over here. Okay? The last thing we're going to do for this building, and the last thing I'm going to teach you today, is signs. We still need a sign. A sign would be the exact same way that you would do a window. So I'm going to get the top that goes to the vanishing point, the bottom that goes to the vanishing point, sides would be straight up and down. Alright. And then, we're not going to get fancy, we're just going to name it art. Okay? So my sign would be three-dimensional, but because I'm looking at it this way, as opposed to a window, I'm actually going to see the depth of it. Alright? So I'm actually going to see the thickness of my sign as it's hanging out. There we go. Got a nice little sign for our store. Then I'm going to get fancy. I'm going to throw lights hanging off of it. Alright? So what you're going to be doing, and this is where we kind of got to take our time, we need to add doors, windows, and signs for each of our building. Now these three big ones don't touch, because I got something else for them. But today what you can do is you can go in and decide what your smaller buildings are going to be. Each building needs a door, a window, and a sign. So you got to figure out how you want to do that, what you want to do, and what you want to put in those spaces. But the big ones, the ones that you made taller, 3 of them, you don't have to do all of them, but 3 of them need to be left alone for the next video. Alright guys, have fun.